How do you know a dream is worth chasing?
I actually would like to flip that, because I think a lot of people are waiting for a sign to know that a dream is worth chasing before they start doing it. And I think it actually comes after you start doing it.
Everest is obvious to climb because it's there, it's a mountain. Personal Everests, you know, you can't see them, you know, and that journey to the top of the mountain and back down again is fraught with hazards, and no one can see it but you. So letting people in to help, you know, when you can't trust, and when you have to trust, and then, you know, endeavouring to make the journey within yourself to do something, you know, to achieve. There's going to be someone there who's got the right pair of ears at the right time, and might pass you on to the right person for you. And every case is different, you know. So never give up on the dream.
You gotta know when to stay silent. Every move doesn't need to be announced. Every play doesn't need to be posted. Keep your head down and keep working hard. In due time, they'll see it.
When you make mistakes, they add up. They add up. One mistake compounds and leads to another, which leads to another, and they can lead you to a downward spiral of destruction. Here's the thing. You know what else adds up? The positive things. The good moves. The small sacrifices that you make to do things right. The adjustments needed to correct problems. The daily discipline required to get you where you want to get to. Those little positive things add up too. Here's the question, why don't we do them? Why don't we do them? Well, it's because, in most cases, it's because they add up slowly. They add up so slowly that you don't really notice the results.
I dare you to stop f***ing around and dedicate the next 6 months of your life exclusively to you and your goal. Don't announce it to anybody else on Instagram. Don't tell anyone about it. Just disappear and do the work on yourself. And then reemerge in 6 months a completely different person.
Desire is the starting point of all change. The most important question that you have to ask yourself in life is, how badly do you want what you want? How badly do you want it? Or do you want it at all? If you want it so badly, if you want it with tremendous intensity of desire, there's really nothing in the world that can stop you from getting it.
So I get a lot of emails about how do I stay motivated, hungry, driven. Well, let me tell you something. Most days in life when I wake up, I'm not motivated, hungry, or driven. I commitment to myself to be the best version of myself. What most of us are looking for is a special feeling of, oh, I feel great this morning. I'm gonna get out of bed and get a quick 5 miles in or go to the gym. If you're looking for that feeling, let me tell you one thing, it ain't gonna come. You have to learn to do when you don't want to do. Learn to bring that savage mentality out of yourself. The animalistic motherfuckers. You think a savage gives a about how he feels or how she feels? They just do it. Learn to be your best self when you're least motivated.
You have to build the discipline and the grit and the fortitude and the determination and the endurance and the confidence and the ability to execute when conditions aren't ideal to never quit. It's not that they don't know what to do, it's that they couldn't consistently do it when conditions weren't perfect. And conditions on the path to success will never be perfect. So you have to build yourself into someone who can execute, whether it's great times or whether it's bad times.
One characteristic emerged as a significant predictor of success. And it wasn't social intelligence, it wasn't good looks, physical health, and it wasn't IQ. It was grit. Grit is passion and perseverance for very long-term goals. Grit is having stamina. Grit is sticking with your future, day in, day out, not just for the week, not just for the month, but for years, and working really hard to make that future a reality. Grit is living life like it's a marathon, not a sprint.
One day in the gym is basically imperceivable. 2 days in the gym, you don't recognize any change whatsoever. 100 days in the gym, and you're almost a new person. When you do anything, it adds up. When you do nothing, it amounts to 0. So take the small steps every day. Do what you're supposed to do. And don't expect some incredible results in 1 day or 2 days or 10 days. Worthwhile things take 100 days. They take 500 days. Maybe they take 5,000 days. They take time. But it's little steps that add up.
All habits are learned and can be unlearned. Almost everything you do from the time you get up in the morning is habit. So start to think about yourself as what would be the best habits to have. When you go to sleep at night, think about your goals for the coming day. Make a list for each day of all the goals, the little goals you're going to accomplish that day.
The most important thing is probably keep betting on yourself and bet again, and roll the dice and roll the dice. What happens as you get older is you realize that these opportunities were in front of you and you didn't jump for them. Life can be understood as a series of opportunities that are put before you, and they're time limited.
You know perfectly well that if you put your mind to it and you make the proper sacrifices, there are things you can set straight. And that if you do that diligently, things actually improve. And so, because otherwise, if you didn't believe that, you wouldn't act at all. Like, well, maybe you just turn to completely catastrophic short-term impulsive pleasure, something like that. You have to believe that your action has some redemptive possibility, because why would you do it otherwise? And you might say, well, I kind of believe that. It's like, well, that's not good enough. You know, you kind of got to throw yourself all into it. And what's the cost anyways? You know, it's not like you're going to get out of this alive. So you're pretty much all in, whether you want to be or not.
The outcome isn't the prize. It's the process. The small, unglamorous steps in the moments no one sees. You're not meant to have it all figured out, because figuring it out is the work. Don't chase perfect. Chase progress. Let yourself stumble. Let yourself grow, and let go of the need for every move to be flawless. The magic happens when you stop waiting for the finish line to feel fulfilled. When you realize you're building something greater than the end result. You're building yourself.
A new year, a fresh page, an open door to possibility. Every year we tell ourselves, this is going to be it. This is going to be my year. But how many times have we said that, only to end up back in the same place, same habits, same excuses, same regrets? But this time can be different. This time it's not about making promises you don't keep or setting goals you'll forget by February. This time it's about one thing and one thing only, becoming the person you know you're capable of being. 2025 isn't just a number on the calendar, it's an opportunity. A line in the sand, a chance to step into the life you've been dreaming of, not next year, not someday, but now. And that life, it's not waiting for you. You have to go out and build it. But let me be clear, this isn't about wishing, hoping, or fantasizing about the year ahead. 2025 will not change your life just because the clock struck midnight. The change doesn't happen in the turning of a calendar. It happens in the turning of your mindset. It happens when you stop making excuses and start making moves. And here's the truth about change. It's not easy. It's not comfortable. It's not glamorous. Real change is gritty. It's waking up earlier than you want to. It's saying no to the things that waste your time and yes to the things that challenge you. It's putting in the work when no one's watching, when no one's clapping, when no one's even paying attention. Because the life you want isn't built in the spotlight, it's built in the shadows. You want 2025 to be your year? Then stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for the motivation to hit. Stop waiting for the stars to align. They won't. The perfect moment doesn't exist. the stars don't care. But you care. That's why you're here. That's why you're listening. Because deep down, you know you're capable of more. But here's the catch. Wanting more isn't enough. You have to act. And not just once, not just when it's easy, but every single day. Because every decision you make, every action you take, shapes who you are becoming. 2025 isn't just about what you'll achieve, it's about who you'll become. It's about the version of yourself you're building, brick by brick, moment by moment. This is the year you stop letting fear hold you back. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of stepping into the unknown. Because here's the thing about fear. It's always going to be there. You don't overcome it by avoiding it. You overcome it by facing it, by stepping into it, by proving to yourself over and over again that you're stronger than the fear. 2025 is the year you take back your time. The year you stop wasting hours, days, weeks on things that don't matter. The year you start valuing every moment, every choice, every opportunity. Because time is the most precious thing you have. And once it's gone, it's gone. This is the year you stop saying, "I'll start tomorrow," and start saying, "I'll start now." And when the setbacks come, and they will, you won't give up. Because setbacks are part of the process. They're not a sign that you've failed. They're a sign that you're trying. And every time you get back up, every time you push forward, you're building something unshakable. You're proving to yourself that you don't just want this, you're willing to work for it. But let's be real. Change isn't about some massive, dramatic overhaul. It's about the small things, the daily habits, the choices you make when no one's watching. 2025 isn't going to be your year because of some big moment. It's going to be your year because of the thousands of small moments where you chose to show up, to do the work, to be better. So here's the challenge. Don't just write a list of resolutions. Don't just set goals. Decide who you're going to be, because goals can be forgotten and resolutions can be broken. But when you decide who you are, when you commit to becoming that person, everything changes. You want to be someone who's disciplined? Then start acting like it. You want to be someone who's confident? Then start building that confidence step by step. You want to be someone who's successful? Then start defining what success looks like for you. And go after it like your life depends on it. Because it does. 2025 is your canvas. And what you paint on it is entirely up to you. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be easy. But it doesn't have to be. What it does have to be is intentional. Every day, every choice, every moment, you decide what this year is going to mean. And when December rolls around again, when you look back on the year that's passed, you'll see one of two things. Either a year of excuses, of wasted time, of opportunities missed, or a year of growth, of progress, of becoming. The choice is yours. So stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Stop looking for a sign. This is your sign. This is your moment. This is your year.